Welcome to Devils in the Details. I am your host, Annie DeGraw, today talking about an exciting new program out of our Washington, D.C. office, Ask an Ambassador. Joining us to talk about that, we have ASU's very first Ambassador in Residence, Ambassador Michael Polt. Thank you for joining us, Ambassador.
Delighted to be here.
This is a brand new program running out of Washington, D.C.'s ASU's Leadership, Diplomacy, and National Security Lab, and it's for students who are interested in pursuing international diplomacy, looking at international policy, the foreign service. And Michael, so excited to learn a little bit more about your amazing almost 40-year tenure in international affairs. You and your family emigrated from Austria to America in 1968. I assume that had quite a good deal to do with your choice in picking your profession.
It did, and there was an additional element to this. My Austrian family, my Austrian parents were divorced, and my Austrian mother remarried an American diplomat at the U.S. Embassy in Vienna. So I came with my new family to the United States as a little Austrian kid, and I was inspired by my stepfather's career. My biological father is a medical doctor, and I was not very good in pre-med, but I was very good in the subject that provided me for the experience for the Foreign Service. So I chose the Foreign Service over medicine.
Reading a little bit about your background, what really stuck out to me was you mentioned the fact that you tear up when you hear the national anthem come on, because you've really adopted America as your home country. And I'm sure that that has also spoken volumes into how you conduct yourself in the world of international diplomacy.
Being part of this country, being part of this society, being part of America is a unique privilege, especially for those of us who were not born into that privilege, but who came here and were accepted by the society. So as far as I'm concerned, yes, that makes me emotional about my patriotism. It makes me emotional about my service to the country, and it makes it meaningful that I was able to serve the United States, which very much when people now ask me, where are you from? And they hear my accent, I say, I'm from Tennessee. And they say, no, but where are you really from? So I'm very attached to my new home.
In the most interesting Southern twang perhaps we've ever heard before. The Austrian Southern twang.
No question.
Ambassador, before you came to ASU, you actually spent 8 years at the McCain Institute for International Leadership in Washington, D.C. Now you are a founding member of the Leadership, Diplomacy, and National Security Lab at ASU. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the lab is and your role in it?
Yes. The basic concept and what started us on the entire idea of creating this lab was a very strong assertion that we make. And that is, if you look around the world today and you look at conflict, you look at failed societies, you look at human suffering, and you had to identify one single causing factor that sort of precipitated all those difficulties. It is the failed or absent or malignant form of leadership. Therefore, when we created the lab, we decided that one of the things we want to focus on is that character-driven leadership that leads people to do the right thing in the right way for the right reasons. And we want to go ahead and share that with the ASU family, not just the students, who are, of course, the central focus of everything we do, but the entire learning community of the ASU family.
Ambassador, you spent many, many years in the Foreign Service. I am someone who took the Foreign Service test, and I can tell you it's the most difficult test I've ever taken in my life. So a program like this, I would have found so helpful when I was just coming out of college. One of the things that you've said your passion is to diversify the individuals who might even consider a career in Foreign Service. How is this program helping bring those individuals into the fold?
ASU is so chock full of impressive young people. I began teaching a class for undergraduate at ASU, our policy design studio class, when I was still at the McCain Institute, some 8 years ago now. And I was amazed with what kind of enthusiasm our ASU students sort of gravitated to a completely unfamiliar setting. You are now a US embassy in country X, and I'm not going to treat you like a career professional in diplomacy, and I'm going to make you hold up to those standards. And they performed excellently. The Foreign Service of the United States has sort of a long-standing old boy network tradition of Northeastern elitism in the United States. We need to break that down to bring foreign policy, to make America, to make the broader section of the United States, broader section of American citizens, committed to U.S. international engagement. And to do that, we need diplomats who look like America, from all parts of America, from all genders, from all persuasions, from all backgrounds. And ASU is such a unique sort of seeding point for all these young people from various parts of the country to come together from a non-traditional university that is so powerful in what it offers in terms of lifetime learning. So we need to be in the fray, and therefore, this is why I'm at ASU.
When you started in the Foreign Service in the late 1970s, it was a very different time. We are so much more connected now than we were then, through the internet, through a million different fashions. Have you seen that change the type of individuals who are interested in coming into this service and living abroad?
Certainly. One of the main changes that has happened since the time I entered and today is that even the words public diplomacy didn't exist when I joined the Foreign Service. Diplomacy was by nature secretive. Diplomacy was by nature behind closed doors. Now, some of that still exists, but we do so much more now in the public diplomacy sphere, where the appearance and the presence of the person who is speaking and delivering the message is really important. And it is insufficient to say, I come from Yale, I come from Harvard, I come from Massachusetts, I come from Connecticut. But it is important for you to say, I come from Arizona. I'm Native American. I belong to the heartland of this country. And it's amazing how people respond to that in foreign locales when they engage all of America, not just a small slice of it. So it really is a critical element that throughout my Foreign Service career, we've always talked a lot about this. We talked about diversifying and diversity. And I think all of my colleagues, virtually the majority of my colleagues, will agree that we have still not done it. So we need to do more in that regard. And actually, I want to get ASU into the game of doing that, because there's a modernization study of the Foreign Service that was done from some of my friends and colleagues at Harvard. So I have proposed to Dr. Crow that we should go ahead and get ASU involved in this. And we are in the process of getting ourselves into that middle.
Well, President Crow will hopefully see this, and we consider this an open invitation to do that. Ambassador, last question for you today, and it's specifically about the Ask an Ambassador program. How do students access this, and what can they find through the program?
There are two ways to through the web to get in touch with me, in addition to just phone number or email. I'm available to any student of ASU. The Ask the Ambassador section is a link in our website. You click on it, it opens a dialog box for you, and you just type in your questions. The Ask the Ambassador feature is for substantive questions about foreign policy. And I will provide an answer for that. And in addition to that, offer some additional engagement with the student, or even point them in additional experts' direction on that issue. In addition to that, we're about to launch those. I'm going to keep virtual office hours. And during the virtual office hours, you can sign up for a consultation, and we can talk about anything: career choices, career coaching, what to prepare for the Foreign Service exam, those kind of things. We'll do that in the office hours.
Fantastic resource. So often I do these interviews with devils in the details, and I'm so jealous of what students have available to them now. And this is yet another resource that I am extremely jealous of. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time on Devils in the Details, stay safe and be healthy.
All the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.